Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Let's take a bird's eye view of this week's Who's Who in baseball. Who's running hard in the West? Who's picking up in the East? Who stopped whose 7-game winning streak? And who retaliated in kind? Who just hit career homer number 300? And who now has more career shutouts than any active pitcher in the majors? Headlines and highlights coming up next on This Week in Baseball. Brought to you by Gillette. When it comes to personal grooming, most people come to Gillette, makers of the Twin Blade Track 2. Track 2 users say no single blade will do.
Gillette Track 2, please.
Sold out again. Say, you look like a double-edged man to me. Daring, unafraid.
No, the Gillette Track 2 gives me a more comfortable shave.
That's silly me. These other twin blades will fit your Track 2 handle.
Yeah, but they're not Gillette Track 2.
Yeah, but...
Sorry.
To guys who use a twin blade Gillette Track 2, no other blade will do.
Gillette Track 2, please.
You know, voting is an American tradition. Selecting the candidates to do the job is your responsibility, whether in the political arena or in a baseball stadium. The public has a voice. You can vote for your favorite player in Major League Baseball's All-Star election. It's easy. Ballots are free. Just pick one up at any major or minor league park or at any retail store with a Gillette All-Star display. Balloting ends July the 2nd, so get out there and vote.
Manager Sparky Anderson's Cincinnati Reds have mighty good reason to be smiling these days. The Reds are rolling, playing winning baseball, determined to flag down another pennant. The Reds are famed as an offensive machine, but Cincinnati pitching has also become prominent. Pedro Barbun is still coming out of the bullpen, but younger relievers like Manny Sarmiento and this man, Doug Bear, have made the Reds really tough in the late innings. A starting threesome has also been impressive. Fred Norman and Bill Bonham won their first 10 games, and Tom Seaver's back in form, winning 5 straight while allowing only 5 earned runs in over 40 innings. The Reds need those arms because their normally indestructible lineup has been hurting a little this season. Even Pete Rose had to sit down for a game. Injuries have given Cincy reserves like Mike Lum a chance to prove that lesser knowns can also ignite the Big Red Machine. Bench bench warmers like Lum have found themselves starting, and starters like Johnny Bench have found themselves coming off the bench. The Pirates and Reds tied bottom of the ninth, 2 out, and there it goes, deep to left field, and it's out of here. A game-winning pinch hit homer. Even when they're hurting, the Cincinnati Reds have been winning and staying near the top in the National League West. Meanwhile, in the National League East, the Philadelphia Phillies have also been winning. They had been playing some sluggish baseball until center fielder Gary Maddox took charge. And I mean all over the diamond. With Maddox leading the way, the Phils snapped out of their losing streak and came back to life in the divisional race, just in time to meet the Los Angeles Dodgers, who snatched their pennant hopes away last year, something Philly fans and players just can't forget.
It seems that 1976 we got eaten up by the big red machine, and then last year the big Dodger in the sky swooped down on us and brought us bad luck, so to speak.
Baseball is 162 games, and then your playoffs and World Series. You got to live day by day. The more you think about the past or the future, the less you concentrate on the job at hand. So they have an excellent team. They'll be right there when it's all over with. But again, if I'm ever playing somebody and they're thinking about the future or the past, I think I've got the upper hand on them.
This year, I think that the Phillies players and the entire organization, and even the Phillies fans, are saying, let's go get it. And that's the attitude we have. We're going to go for it this year.
Larry Boa is another man who can make the Phillies go. Here he gets a base hit. Finds a little opening in the outfield and makes the most of it. Philadelphia swept the Dodgers 3 straight, putting Tom Lasorda into his worst slump as Dodger manager. When you're going right, it goes like this. Davy Johnson, with a 114 average, is pinch hitting in the bottom of the ninth against ace reliever Terry Forster. Bases loaded, score tied. There goes a high fly ball to left field. It's going, and it is gone. A grand slam. Terry Foster knew that game was over, but both of these teams have a long way to go before the pennant score is finally settled. The Montreal Expos consider the Eastern Divisional race far from settled. The sky's the limit as far as the young Expos are concerned. Young outfielders like Warren Cromartie and this man, Andre Dawson, have been doing some timely hitting, keeping the Expos in close contention with Chicago and Philadelphia. Ellis Valentine, the third member of that impressive young outfield, also kept the Expos moving in their recent 3-game sweep of the first-place Cubs. But for all that Expo youth, Father Time, talking about Tony Perez, just won't stand still. He also helped beat the Cubs with this shot. Career homer number 300. How far can Tony and his teammates go? Well, so far, they've got good pitching. Rudy May won 4 straight, teams up with Steve Rogers and Ross Grimsley, the league's top winner, to give the Expos strong frontline pitching. With the Expos backing up their pitchers, Montreal figures it just might put together a banner season.
Herbie, I asked for twin blade Gillette Good News disposable razor. I get a single blade disposable nut at Gillette. Herbie, that one blade can't deliver the close shaves this two-blade good news can.
Great shave, boss.
Of course, and lots of them. Herbie, always get me a good news disposable. Otherwise, we make Herbie's job disposable.
Gillette Good News. It's one blade better.
Port of call, South Pacific.
Liberty call, Liberty call.
The Navy. See a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Welcome to Royal Stadium, where most teams would rather not go because the Royals generally gun them down. KC was riding a 7-game win streak and closing in on first place in the West when the Chicago White Sox came at them head-to-head with a hot streak of their own. The Sox dug themselves a big hole in the standings early this year, but began to climb out with a 7-game winning streak that included 2 wins in a row over the Royals. Bosley was called up from the minors and immediately put the White Sox in motion by hitting, by running, and by scoring. Kansas City fans might have figured their team needed a little bit more support as they poured into Royal Stadium for the final game against the Sox. The Royals responded by displaying their big bats and fleet feet. Somebody must have given Darryl Porter a hot tip because the Royals catcher really collected in this game. 5 hits, including 2 triples. Doug Bird came in to wrap up a Royal romp 13-2. That stopped the White Sox winning streak and kept Kansas City close to Oakland at the top of the West. All the same, Chicago proved it may still be heard from in the months ahead. Few expected to hear from the Baltimore Orioles after their poor start in the Eastern Division. The word was that the Birds would stage no miracles this season. But the Orioles are accustomed to not believing what they hear. Jim Palmer delivers, and now he can't believe the umpire's call. Like his team, Palmer had early season frustrations, but all that is now starting to change. Maybe Jim should explain in a somewhat calmer frame of mind.
Well, we got off to a very poor start. We went to Milwaukee and they scored 40 runs in 3 ball games, and the guys have really rebounded very well. Unfortunately, I wasn't with the club then, or maybe it was really fortunately, but we have some good young pitchers, and they just have to get their feet on the ground in the major leagues, and I think they're going to be very successful ones.
Young Mike Flanagan got his feet on the ground last year when he won 13 of his last 15 after losing 8 of his first 10. His manager, Earl Weaver, stuck with him throughout the hard times and now reaps the benefits of the good times, like this recent Flanagan victory over the Yankees. That'll build a pitcher's confidence, and Flanagan has plenty in his team as well as himself.
Well, we got 4 of the greatest arms, I think, in the league on this club, with Jim Palmer and Dennis Martinez and Scott McGregor, and as long as we can get a few runs, we're going to be right in there.
Scott McGregor has also done quite a bit to get the Orioles back in there. In fact, he's this year's redemption project of manager Weaver. Scott got off to a shaky start, but then he won 6 in a row, and that's quite a turnaround. How did it all happen, Scott?
Well, I think the main thing is I wasn't changing speeds enough and was a little timid on the mound instead of being aggressive. And right now I've come back into the way I used to pitch, and I feel a little more aggressive on the mound and taking command a little more.
Well, Scotty McGregor, of course, has won 5 games in a row for us. Started out the season 0-3, and then he got a chance to start regularly. And he does, I think, the important thing that good pitchers will do. And number 1, he throws the ball over the plate. Number 2, he keeps the ball down. And number 3, he changes speeds very well. He's not overpowering, but he has an excellent changeup and a pretty good curveball and slider, and his ball does sink. And he's been making very good pitches for us. And on a couple occasions, he's gotten a lot of runs to work with, which makes it a lot easier.
Everything looks real easy with Jim Palmer on the mound, except to the hitters. He handed the Yankees their first shutout in 123 games. It was Palmer's 3rd shutout in a row, the 49th of his career, the most of all active pitchers. More important, the Orioles are making noises in the East, and don't think the Red Sox and Yankees aren't listening. Back in the West, the California Angels are listening to the beat of a different drummer, new manager Jim Fregosi, a tough test for a rookie skipper.
Well, I don't know if it's a test for me, it's a test for the whole ball club. I think the one thing that we've got to look forward to is that if this club is going to be a good club, that they're going to have to play well against the better teams. And that's the teams that they're going to beat. If you're going to say we're a pennant contender, those are the teams that we've got to play.
And Fregosi's Angels had to face a tough team right off the bat, the red-hot Boston Red Sox, who took the first 2 games of the series. But Angel ace Frank Tanana finally cooled their bats, and when Tanana needed relief help late in the game, Fregosi called on an old friend, Dave LaRoche, the only remaining Angel from Fregosi's playing days in California. Is LaRoche Fregosi's guardian angel? Well, he did save the manager's first big league victory.
Ferguson! Sarge, do you have a Gillette Track 2 blade I could borrow?
Got an injector, it shaves close.
No! Track 2 shaves me closer than any single blade. Closer!
My razor, Sarge?
Track 2 is more comfortable than old Ironsides.
The twin blade Gillette Track 2 does shave you closer with less irritation than any single blade.
2-day pass for anybody with a Track 2.
To guys who use Gillette Track 2, no single blade will do.
Any kid who plays baseball likes to pretend he's a major leaguer. He might pretend to be pitcher Charlie Huff, but that's okay. Charlie Huff likes to pretend too.
I always thought I was a good hitter, but never really turned out that way, so I just tried imitating as many different players as I could, and I think one of my favorites on our club right now is Steve Garvey, which I really enjoy doing, and I'm going to try and do my impersonation or whatever of Steve Garvey striking out, which I don't like to see. I'll strike out for him tonight, but here it is.
Speaking of impressions, no one's trying to pull anyone's leg. But what kind of game are we playing here? Baseball does make some strange impressions at times, particularly with strange creatures like Philadelphia's faithful Philly fanatic. He's the Bull, Greg Luzinski. The whole Philly lineup, especially flaky Jay Johnstone. Well, I guess everyone dreams of being someone else. Dave Parker won a batting title last year, so I wonder what he's looking for now. Ah, the pitcher's mound. These pitchers say, hey man, you can't be a pitcher overnight. You've got to get yourself in shape. It starts with the fingernails. Now, this would-be ball player didn't know he needed a nail file. He thought all he needed to bring was the right uniform. We all want to be ball players, but ball players have problems too. Bad breaks, part of the game. A rough business with hard knocks like these. Moments that would make anyone hopping mad. No doubt about it, they can get some real headaches. But other times, everything comes up roses. Pete Rose received this bouquet in San Diego, then got a bird's eye view of himself, a fearless imitation of Mr. Charlie Hustle. How about that? Pete must have figured he'd seen everything, but this impressionist wasn't about to chicken out of putting on a show. He's trying to steal third. And for ballpark fans in need of a TV replay, here's that play again. In slow motion. Now hit the dirt, man. That's what I'm talking about. But no rose is a rose is a rose without Pete's famed trademark. And here it is in the home stretch. Slide. It all proves one point. Imitation is the finest form of flattery. And now, will the real Pete Rose please stand up? There he is with a real Rose-style rundown. Here are some defensive plays that are tough to imitate. Watch Cleveland's Dwayne Kuiper. Man. Now look for Atlanta shortstop Pat Rocket. Back to the fence, Yankees center fielder, Mickey Rivers. And the game saver in the bottom of the ninth by Oakland's Larry Murray. A clutch play by Minnesota's Rich Childs. Now the second part of a twin killing in left. This time it's Bombo Rivera. Now watch Steve Carlton use his wits. How about that? Finally, pirate catcher Duffy Dyer uses wits and guts. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Let's watch it again. Duffy takes a quick glance at the dugout steps. In dire need of friends, he finds his teammates ready to protect him. And there it is, a daring and remarkable catch. And now for a remarkable performance at Veterans Stadium by the Phillies' Davy Johnson, this week's winner of the Gillette Special. Johnson belted a pinch hit home run with the bases loaded to beat the Dodgers. It was his second pinch hit grand slammer of the season, and that's a major league record. Congratulations, Davy. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Hope to see you next week on This Week in Baseball.
Be paid in promotional consideration provided by Chinook. The Chinook Futura, tomorrow's motorhome today. Advanced engineering and innovative styling make this a unique motorhome. Futura by Chinook. Brookline's exclusive new wall-away recliner for easier room arrangements with back only 3 inches from the wall, whether upright or fully reclining. Don't just recline, Brookline. And Zebrick decorative wall covering. Add color, character, and charm to your home with fireproof, inexpensive Zebrick, America's most popular brick wall covering.